Social anxiety is one of the most common forms of anxiety in the modern day, and there have been many studies looking at the link between social media and social anxiety. And when I was choosing a topic I wanted to cover for my university undergraduate, I decided I want to look at the VTuber community, because I believe that being a VTuber gives a unique opportunity to socialise without certain barriers that social anxiety can bring, such as judgment based on factors out of your control. While the VTuber community is still relatively new on the internet, it has a fast growing community as it crosses over from Japan into more Western countries. One particular study from the platform Pulsar found that in early 2023, over 80% of online discussions around VTubers was from the USA, with only around 4% of discussions happening in Asian countries. Due to this research being academic, I had to make sure the ethics and formatting were acceptable by the university I worked with. For example, my first set of questions to judge the level of social anxiety used a pre-existing severity measure for social anxiety disorder by Krask et al. In 2013. These questions were asked once when looking at IRL interactions, followed by the same questions, this time focusing on when they were using a VTuber account. I also included questions relating to how they felt a VTuber avatar helped reduce social anxiety, make friends, communicate with others, and expressing identity. Finally, I asked how many hours people use social media, and if they identified as introverted or extroverted, along with an open question of what does your virtual avatar mean to you. The survey managed to get over 100 responses, which was fantastic and allowed for more significant discussion and evidence to back up the findings. The first set of questions shown here relate to real life and VTuber differences. The red and orange are showing responses are either rarely or never, while blue is showing often or always. There is a clear shift at the second set of responses that VTuber personas help reduce social anxiety across all 10 areas identified significantly. The situation with the greatest change was feeling tense, restless, or trouble relaxing in social situations, which could reflect how using a VTuber can make some people more comfortable by using an avatar that they want to share, while the least change was spending time preparing how to act, maybe showing that despite using a separate avatar that some people still feel uneasy about how their actions or words may be interpreted by others. The next set of results is the response to the question, I find using a VTuber avatar helps me, which shows a strong agreement across all 4 areas, but most strongly with the idea of expressing my identity. This sentiment was later echoed by many responses around being able to express myself creatively, through content or through the model itself. Next were the number of hours a week, which were collected into several categories, which are shown here. And the mean hours a week came out at 21.6, which is higher than the mean hours found in 2024, at 16.7 for an average worldwide. This could suggest a higher risk of social anxiety, but could also show that social media usage is higher when using a VTuber avatar, as it is a positive way to interact in a way that an individual wants to, in a positive light. One area that really surprised me was that in previous studies on live streamers, it had shown that there's a 22.4% representation of introverts. But in this case, in the VTuber community, it was much higher at 88%, completely reversing the weighted scale. This could reflect how VTubing can encourage people who would want to be involved in content creation, but may hold themselves back by their introversion or anxiety, and allow them to be more creative and express themselves or their ideas without being constrained to real life limitations. The final question of what does your VTuber model mean to you was an open question, had a high rate of response of 98%, some of which ranged from a few words to some answers being over 200 words. I was able to find repeating themes and group them in the answers into these 4 categories. The first was filtered persona, which 34% of people answered, where the VTuber represented only a part of their real selves to share with others for a variety of reasons, from fear of rejection to avoiding real-life appearances. Examples of this were, they are the me I want the internet to see, and a mask I can wear so I don't have to stress as hard about how I present myself. The second category was the freedom of expression at 24%, where the response focused on the creativity, positive self-esteem, and the freedom that VTubing provided. This included responses such as a way to express myself creatively that I haven't found anywhere else, and it gives me a means to push myself to creatively interact with people. Thirdly was a future persona, which was 15%. These were people who were looking at who they strive to be, seeing an opportunity to improve, or have seen real changes in themselves after using a VTuber avatar for an extended period. It could also be seen as an aspirational persona. Examples of this one are, they are who I want to be one day, or they are everything I strive to be. And over time, we've been morphing closer into the same person. The final category was a real persona, which was the final 27%. Where these responses focused on the VTuber being an authentic representation of themselves, mentioning such as, it is an extension of myself, my authentic self, and an easier method to show myself to the world. I think these findings really show that there is a key focus on identity and expression within the VTuber community, and that VTubers have a unique way of interacting with the social media landscape, in both looking at the present and looking to the potential future. I do hope you found this video informative. It's a new format for me, and I was really keen to share my findings with the community that made it possible. And although it did take me a while to put this video together, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And a big thank you to everyone who took part in the survey, or shared it, or just engaged in any way. I'm eager to continue researching, and I'm already preparing my next steps for a long-term project. In the meantime, I want to share more of my interests in technology and digital spaces. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so thank you once more, and let me know any thoughts or questions from the video in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can. Thank you, bye!